Today on Parents Corner, a conversation about summer reading. Welcome to Parents Corner. Today we're going to be talking about summer reading. And we have with us here today Michelle McConville from the Arundel County Public Library. It's so wonderful to see you today. I thought the thing that we would start with is just, before we talk about reading, is just a little bit about you.
Well, thank you for having me on the show today. I am a programming and outreach coordinator with Anne Arundel County Public Libraries, which means that I work in our library headquarters for doing system-wide initiatives. Before that, I was at the Edgewater Library as one of our programmers, and I got to do story times and programs for children of all ages. So that's where I started with the library.
Okay, and I think you know I used to work for the public library, so I love story time.
Yes.
We brought you here today because I want to make sure that parents get all the information they can get about what the public library does to incentivize reading during the summer. So I know every year you have some kind of program, there's so much to say, but if you could just sort of give us an idea of what that looks like this year.
Sure, absolutely. So for the months June, July, and August, the library hosts over 1,300 free programs for all ages. So we have everything from our story times throughout the summer, STEM programs. This year the theme for the summer is a universe of stories. So we have a lot of space themes programs that are going on this year. And then we also have what we call the Summer at Your Library Challenge. And that's something for, again, for all ages, where we challenge participants to read for a total of 36 days over the summer. And they will just track their days that they either read or do one of our suggested activities, like they can come to a library program, they can check out books. Children could read to a pet or to a stuffed animal, something like that, just to encourage engagement over the summer. And then at the end of the summer, at the end of the 36 days, then they can choose from one of our prizes this year.
Okay, and so they're picking 36 different days, and then are they logging this? How does that work?
So we have a paper log, so they can use the paper log to just mark off the days on the calendar.
Okay.
We also have the challenge available online. If you start at our website, you can find the challenge online as well as through an app. So you don't actually even have to come into the library to participate with our Summer at Your Library Challenge.
Okay, but they can come in and they would get this log.
Absolutely.
When they came in.
Yep. All they have to do is come up to the information desk, or maybe even see one of our summer volunteers. We work with volunteers throughout the summer that help us with all of our events, which is a really fun thing.
You have to explain that to us. So you just said the word volunteer. We have lots of volunteers in the school system.
Right.
But what is a volunteer? I'm guessing this has something to do with teenagers.
So we use teenagers throughout our library system from the county. So some of our residents, a lot of times these are kids that have grown up in the library, and they can volunteer for the summer to help out the library with our Summer at Your Library events, for our challenge. And it's just an opportunity for them to get some of their service hours. This counts, their time works for service hours.
I guess it's good work experience.
It's great work experience for a lot of our volunteers. This is the first opportunity that they have had to see what work might be like. They have to fill out an application. Some libraries do interviews, so it gives kids that opportunity to experience what an interview might be like.
Okay.
And then following a schedule. So it's a really nice opportunity for the kids to get some experience, and it's great for the library to have our youth in our libraries helping us for the summer.
Right. And they probably pick up a book while they're there.
Once or twice, yeah.
And how old are they generally?
I believe they have to be 12 years old by the beginning of the summer, and then up through high school.
Okay. All right. So we have volunteers
Right.
who are helping. We can go online to sign up.
Yep.
We can come into the library to sign up.
Yes.
And you said it's 36 days, and then there's some kind of prize at the end if if they fulfill the challenge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So anybody that completes the program, whether that is a 3-month-old where they're being read to or coming to the library, or up to a 96-year-old grandma that is also doing the program, can choose from one of 3 prizes.
Okay.
We have free books for our school-age children. So we have book titles that are appropriate from birth to, I want to say, about 7th grade. Or they could choose a writing journal with our Summer at Your Library logo on it, or a book tote. So whatever
So the
prize
96-year-old grandma's probably going to pick up the book tote.
she may, or she may want to pick out a book to for her great-grandchild, that she
that's
could
a
do
good
that as well.
Now you mentioned that birth.
Yes.
And sometimes people don't think that. They think, well, my child needs to be reading before we can sign up. So I just want to make sure that people hear that
Yes.
reading to your child. And I remember when my oldest, who's now 18, was a little tiny little person, and I logged all the books, and I kept that, which is such a nice keepsake.
Yeah.
You know, to look back and see what books I read to her that first year. So I hope that families do that and they use this as an opportunity.
I hope so. And the library also has another program specifically for our preschoolers.
Okay.
We have the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program, and what that is doing is encouraging families and caregivers to read 1,000 books to children before they enter school. The more language they hear, the more apt they are, the easier reading is going to come to them when that's time for them to start.
Right.
And it can be the same book 1,000 times, because any of us that have had children know that some of those books are favorites and you read them over and over again, and you can count that each time you read
So
that
you could
book.
write Go Dog Go in 10 times in a row and we're okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And again, you can do that you can sign up in our libraries. And children get stickers for every 100 books that they reach. Or they can also do that online, and they can, through our online program called Beanstack, they can actually keep track of the books that they're reading. So it'll actually hold a log of all of the books that they're reading.
Yeah, which is sort of fun. I think as an adult it's sort of fun too, because sometimes you go through, you finish books, and then you don't remember, you're trying to tell a friend about them, you don't even know what it was that you read. So
my oldest, who is 19, still has her composition book of all of the books that we read when they were young, when my girls were young, and she actually adds to it. So it's kind of fun actually, even just to see that. It's just something she carries with her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I love that. I love getting to talk to librarians. So another piece of what you all have going on, you talked about programs.
Right.
So are there any specific programs that space-oriented or anything? Do you have performers coming in? I know in the past you've had things like that. So what's it going to look like this summer? What should people be making sure they put on their calendar?
Well, you definitely want to check out all of our events online. So we have a full calendar of events that you can find on our website.
Okay.
And definitely plan your summer around what we're doing. As I said, we have thousands of programs. Some of those programs are presented by outside performers. So we have, for instance, Joe Romano, who is a magician who has been coming to Arundel County Public Library since my girls were little.
Yeah.
His program this year is Take Me to Your Readers. Since we had a space theme, he was really excited about that. And he will be in all 16 of our locations doing multiple shows. I'm really excited. We have a bilingual program that's coming to our libraries this summer. We have 1, 2, 3 Andres.
Okay.
They are out of Virginia and Grammy winners. So I'm really excited. They're going to be at a couple of our locations this summer.
What is that? Is it a music show?
It's a music show.
Okay.
Yep. It's a duet, a bilingual duet.
And the whole thing will be about, that's awesome.
Yeah, the whole
and
thing
now
will
is
be
that
bilingual.
going to be in all the different branches? Or
No,
just inside?
it's
Did you sort of look for the ones that are more
we've
likely?
got they've got 5 different programs.
Okay.
So it's definitely one that you would maybe have to travel for, because it's not going to be something that's available in all of our branches. We've set the program up that hopefully there is something that for families that have the ability to go to different branches, that there is something new and different for them that they could actually spend their entire summer with us.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also plenty of programs that are going to be in each location. So if somebody walks to the library, if you've got a nanny that's able to take kids to the library over the summer, there's going to be activities and events all summer long.
Okay, so something's sort of going on everywhere. All
Everywhere, all the time. Yep, absolutely.
So keep the excitement up. So speaking of the excitement up, part of the reason that I wanted to bring you here and to have this so that parents could see it is because reading is so important,
Right.
and so important specifically in the summer.
Right.
And can you speak to that a little bit? Like why should parents make sure that their kids have books in their hands during the summer? Why does that matter? I mean, we
So
could all just go swimming the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good thing too. But there is something called the summer slide, and that is a term that they use for the loss of learning over the summer months.
Right.
So if our students are not actively reading or doing literacy-based activities over the summer, they actually lose a lot of the learning that they had from the previous year.
Right.
So our schools work at such a fast pace that when the kids go back to school in the fall, our teachers are starting right away with new curriculum.
Right.
And so if we can help them hold on to some of that learning by reading throughout the summer, and by coming to some of our library programs, our educational programs, then that's going to give them a better jump when they go back to school starting off in September.
Right. So we're keeping all those literacy skills up.
That's the goal for all of us, I think. Yeah.
Right. It really is.
Yeah.
And what I've always thought is so wonderful, especially about picture books, is that there's so many rare words that we just don't use in our regular language.
Absolutely.
When I was a media specialist, I would love to stop and be like, whoa, what does that word mean? Like, where did that come from?
Yep.
Because the kids would love learning a new word. So that's one of the things that parents can do, is to ask the kids what they're reading. But that also brings up a really good question, or thought, is that we talked about reading with the babies and writing that down. But summer is also an opportunity to read to your children, even if they are already reading, right?
Oh, most definitely. Sharing a book with a child is, one of the joys of being able to spend time with young people.
Right.
So reading can be everything from being read to reading together, where you're actually reading a book with your child. Gives another experience. And even with older kids, reading the same book maybe simultaneously, so then you've got an opportunity to talk about what you're reading.
Right.
So when kids are into chapter books or even older, then if you're reading the same book, then that's an opportunity to have conversations around the story and about topics that may not come up in your everyday world.
Right. So you're sort of building that relationship with your child, which is awesome. All right. Well,
most of my reading went through based on what my kids were reading.
Yeah. Which is fun, actually, and there's so many good children's books or young adult books that it's marvelous.
Yeah.
So I knew this was going to go fast because there's so much good stuff to talk about, but we're pretty much out of time.
Okay.
Really quick, do you want to show us? You brought a picture book. I asked you to bring something along with you. So we only have a minute, but go ahead.
So this is a book called Grandma's Purse by Vanessa Brantley Newton. It's actually from 2018, but I really like it because I think we can all relate to it. It's a little girl that's very excited that her grandmother's coming to visit, and part of what she loves is going through her grandma's purse and seeing all of the fun things that her grandmother has and all the stories that they share because of what's found in grandma's purse.
So it's all about the relationship.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to read it after we're done.
Wonderful.
But thank you so much for coming today. I
Thanks
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. I wish we had more time. We'll have to have you back another time. So,
right.
And thank you all for joining us for another edition of Parents Corner. See you next time.
The Cafe at Maryland Hall is a collaborative venture between Anne Arundel County Public Schools and Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts. The culinary arts students of the Center of Applied Technology South not only prepare the wonderful food items, they also manage and staff the cafe. Patrons may enjoy a treat or a cup of coffee while also enjoying exhibits and performances from artists in the AACPS PVA program and local art community. This amazing collaborative partnership gives the community an opportunity to experience awesome food and customer service in a rich, artful atmosphere here in the community's Arts Center, our vibrant and exciting Maryland Hall.